All right. Well, we are here on the Grit Show with Brian, the man, the legacy already.
Man, she said, the man, the man,
The man,
the man.
that guy.
I'm working towards it. The man.
I feel like it's already you're already making strides.
Yeah, yeah,
You're already like doing all the things.
yeah,
So I mean, when we say we're working on that,
yeah,
been gone for a minute.
yeah,
It's been a year or
yeah.
so.
3 years. Put it on the back. You know what? Let us pray. Bow our heads. Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day, for this 40th year that you've given me. I appreciate you for guiding me through all the circumstances, through all the good, the bad, and the ups and downs. Protect me, protect us, protect my words. The truth will be there. I can't talk about the truth without the negative. Just govern my mouth, govern my words, and through you, anything is possible. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I had to give him
Amen.
grace. I'm nervous. I'm
What you
nervous.
nervous about? Are we nervous about turning 40?
No. you,
What are we nervous about
you,
here?
you know what? It's not even the turning 40 thing. It's really just the conversation. I know what's coming. I know some of the things that are
What?
coming. Speaking my truths. Now that I'm 40, it's a whole different. I don't know. I just kind of felt like something kind of come over me. Something kind of came over me when that 40th was here, and perspective of certain things of what I know I need to do and what I've done, and just looking back on these past 40 years, man, is definitely something to be thankful and proud about.
So basically, you're feeling that fire.
I am.
Like,
I
you're
am.
feeling that fire up under,
Yes.
and something is like,
We're here.
we're
We're here.
moving.
We're moving. I'm excited about it. I'm excited about this new journey. I'm excited about this new journey. I really thought my 30s was something, but I don't know. When I know I was hitting 40s, something just kind of just came over me.
You
Something
know,
just kind of, I don't know what it is, but I feel it.
right.
Yeah, yeah,
I get that because I'll be 35 next year, and it's something, I feel something moving
yeah,
already, or something like more,
yeah, exactly.
more.
And it feels good. It feels good. It's not a horrible feeling. It's a good feeling to know that this new chapter is beginning, and I'm starting to add more value to myself, more value to my life, more value to the things around me, and taking things out of what I don't need anymore. It's like that third eye is there now.
Yeah,
I see certain things. So
makes
I'm
sense.
just excited about this new journey.
I'm
Yeah,
excited for you. I'm excited to see what it is that you bring, because it's always something you bring in.
yeah.
Always, if it's one thing about Brian, he's bringing something
Yeah,
to the table,
yeah.
and it's the table itself. So
Hey,
we're gonna
come on
wait and
now.
see
Come
what
on
kind of
now.
table it is that you bring,
Come
because
on.
I just know I'm excited for you.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm excited for you.
It's coming.
So if I didn't know you,
Uh-huh.
and all of our followers here don't know you,
Yeah.
what would you want them to know about you? How would you describe yourself?
Oh, that's loaded. Oof. How would I describe myself? An ambitious tug of war individual. And what I mean by that is the tug of war is understanding which side, which route to take. I'm always, should I go here? Should I go there? But once I try it, I figure it out.
Mm,
And
I like that.
I'm really ambitious about that. It's I don't believe in just kind of putting everything in one until you figure it out. Then once you
Okay.
figure it out, then it's like, okay, I know where I stand. And that kind of goes along back with, um, me being so independent for so long.
Right.
I've been on my own for so long. So I have to go through the process of the growth, the good, the bad, the ups, the downs, there's no one next to you and say, hey, don't do that because you might bump your head. No, I got to go through it. So that's what I mean by the tug of war. I have to go through X, Y, and Z. I have to go through the negative things. I have to go through the positive things to figure out what it is that I really like and who I really am and what I really want to accomplish,
Right.
So.
And I love that because really and truly in life, it's like so many people make you feel like you have to be definitive about whatever
Yeah.
like path you're on. And really and truly, that's just unrealistic.
Absolutely.
Like you have to fall. You
Yes.
have to get up. You have to try things. You have to fail at things, and you have to get, the continuous chase of going
Yeah.
on and on and on and on. So I love that.
Yeah.
That being how you describe yourself, because in all the years that I've known you, I feel like, yes, one thing you're going to do is adjust,
Yeah,
adjust,
of course.
adjust. I'm going to try and adjust and adjust. So
Of course.
I think I think I would agree.
And to piggyback off of what she just said, I've been on Kenesha ever since 2013, 2014. So she's seen some years of the transitions of the things that I've gone through. So I knew that it was perfect to have you in the room and just ask me some questions, and the hard questions that the average individual wouldn't want to ask. Or
I'm not scared.
So yeah, the transition is going to be definitely beautiful. And I'm excited for it. I'm ready for it.
All right. So my next question. I'm just kidding. I'm going to just say, what season of life do you think that you're currently in right now?
Transition. I just, the first 5-10 minutes I've just been speaking, it's been really just about transitioning of adding more value to my life, and then taking away the things that doesn't serve me anymore. So the doors can be open for new things. I've been holding on to a lot of things, just even thinking about it just makes me just a little, just the negative things that has come with it, but it's also a lot of positive things.
Right.
So letting go of a lot, and opening the space for new things to evolve, so that's, I'm transitioning right now, so this 40, like I said, I thought 30 was really a good transition, which it was great. I learned a lot in my 30s. Now it's 40. Now it's like, you know what? I'm not putting up with no more BS from myself.
You know what?
I'm not putting up with no more BS from myself.
I'm going to have a drink to transitioning.
Let's do that.
Let's cheers to transitioning in 40, okay?
That's it.
Woo! Mm-hmm. All right. So I know your story.
Uh-huh.
A lot of people know your story, but to talk a little bit about your childhood and just kind of like your mindset and things like that, what do you think is something that shaped your mindset early on?
I've always sat back as a child, at 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and really watched everyone around me, when it comes to family, peers, individuals that I just might know, or as a kid didn't even realize what I was actually doing until I became an adult. I started to realize what I was doing. It gave me a different perspective. It gave me a perspective within the years of living from, adolescence years to my hiatus of 40 years. Just to see the things that I did like, that I didn't like, to add those values to my life. Well, what was the question again?
The question was, who shaped your mindset the most early on?
Oh, who shaped my mindset? Oh, who? Oh, my grandmother. Yeah. Yeah, my
grandmother. And was there like a specific experience, or was it just like a role that she played in your life that just kind of, or was it just her being there, her being the example of love for you?
This is going to be a very touchy topic. I say my grandmother because she's always been there ever since, young. She's always been there. My grandmother was uh, the first individual to uh, she opened a bank account for me when I was, I want to say 13. 13, opened my first account for me when I was 13. Growing up as a child, grandma had a daycare. She had a daycare, so she had a lot of children with her. And I say children because if I say kids, she heard this, she'll kind of smack this mess out of me. You know, she had a lot of children. She had daycare. Grandmother was, you never felt judged with grandmother versus um, other individuals. So um, she brought to light of the individual who I am. Actually, I started my entrepreneurship when I was 11 with
And
her.
what were you doing at 11? Tell us.
I
Tell
was,
us.
you know what? I was cutting grass. I was cutting
Okay.
grass. I've always had a thing for pushing a lawnmower and um, cutting the grass and wanting to fix things with my hands.
Got
That's
it.
always been something that I enjoy doing, even as a young child. So I remember she has a photo of me when I was 5 years old, of me underneath the lawnmower. She's on top of the lawnmower helping me push it in her front yard. So as I grew, I got to the point to where I can push it myself. And I want to say about 11, that's when I got to the point of, okay, I have the strength, I have the ability, I know what I'm doing, I know what I'm accomplishing. And I started doing it myself. So I cut her grass every weekend. And then it snowballed from there, from cutting her grass to going to cut other people's lawns. So I would
Right.
knock on doors and ask if they wanted their front backyard to be cut. And I was
Right.
charging $10 at 11, and went from 10 to $15. So and I would tell my grandmother, but grandma, I think I got a few people grasses I'm gonna cut. She's like, oh, okay, that's good, that's great. What do you need? It's always, what do you need?
Yeah.
You know, um, whatever I needed. I never asked my grandmother for a lot at that age. It was just things that the lawnmower, the weed eater, gas for the lawnmower, things that I could really use. And she always supported me, and not really realizing that that was the foundation to me becoming an entrepreneur, in the businesses. So my grandmother has been very influential in my life, and now the fact that she's living with me now, at
Right.
87 years old, she's had a birthday last week. So it's a beautiful sight. My grandmother, she's a godly woman. She's a Christian woman. Um, God is everything, to her, and people are like, oh, are you very spiritual? No, I worship the God my grandma worships.
Yeah.
That's him. So my grandmother is very influential in my life. She's very influential.
I feel it. I feel that
Yeah,
love. So I feel that I
yeah,
had to, keep it together here
yeah,
because if not, we gonna fall. We
yeah,
gonna
yeah.
fall together. But I got
Yeah,
you.
talking about my grandmother is very touchy because
Emotional.
it's very emotional. And one thing about me is I'm not afraid to show my emotions.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid to show who I really am.
Right.
And I think us as men, we're not taught to be vulnerable. I mean, when I first had my injury, I didn't want to be vulnerable. I didn't want people to see me. I didn't want people to see me getting out of my chair. I didn't want people to see me going into the store because I was afraid of what you thought of me. So vulnerability is my biggest strength, and I learned that early
I
on.
love that. Really just playing off of, again, to kind of come back to what you were saying, and how you describe yourself as adjusting.
Yeah,
And that vulnerability allows you to do that, allows you to adjust, allows you to figure out which way to go,
exactly,
which way to go.
exactly.
So I'm going to use that kind of as a segue to our next question,
Okay.
which is what experience shaped your character more than any other?
There's so many experiences. Um, there's so many experiences. It shaped my character. I think it's a lot of everything. All 40 years. I don't think there's one certain thing. I
All
don't
right,
think
give me
there's.
top 3 to 4.
Um, being the older grandson, being an older boy at a young age, mentally, it was something that I have to think about when it came to taking care of the household within my family. I was the only male. I didn't have a father figure. I didn't have uncles. I have uncles, but no one's around. It was always women.
Yeah.
So I kind of grew up fast without even realizing what was going on. Like cutting the grass, fixing things around the house, putting the lights on top of the house for Christmas. It was just a natural thing that came to me. Yeah. So that's one thing that I took that shaped me and molded me into who I am. I think the second thing was moving out when I turned 17, graduated high school. I went straight to Iowa to play football. Right. Once I became independent by myself, being in one state for a year and a half, it showed me some things. And then moving to California at 19, solo, no family. I moved in this big state, not knowing how I was going to survive and what I was going to do.
But what brought you here?
Football. So I was at an NAIA school, a small individual school, the small school in Iowa. I was there for a year playing football, and a buddy of mine came to California first to Compton College and played for Compton for 1 year and was signed with Nebraska. He signed with Nebraska, reached out to a few of us in Iowa and say, hey, man, if you guys want to come out here, it'd be a lot easier to get a scholarship to a 4-year, a bigger school.
Right. Because
Graceland was a 4-year, but it was just a smaller school.
Right.
He came out first, signed. I came out. Because the school I was at, it was a small NAIA school. So the loans were kicking my butt. So I was like $40,000 in debt just from a year and a half. Oof. So he said, hey, bro, make that transition.
Still trying to get those forgave, by the way, guys.
I got mine forgave by being a paraplegic. So there is some pros when it comes. Absolutely. So yeah, I came out here and I wanted to, what? I don't want to be in debt. Let me come out here, make this transition, go to the school out here. And I came out here for 2 years. I only planned on being here for 2 years.
Got it.
But 2 years turned into almost 20 years, so football brought me here. Junior college to sign with a 4-year, which I did. And then I had my injury 2 weeks before I was getting ready to leave to Texas. So, and now I'm still here.
Okay, so we have being the big brother, the male figure for your younger siblings and cousins and things that are watching you grow up first, the oldest cousin.
Yeah.
And then moving to all your moves. We'll say all those moves because I'm sure there's something you learned in every single move.
Absolutely.
That probably helped shape your character.
Yeah. I went through a lot of BS. I went through a lot of BS. That's what really shapes me. It's going through the negative. The positive is good, but when you've been on your own for so long, it'll really mold you when you bump your head.
Yeah.
It'll really mold you when you bump your head. Now, either you can learn from it, or you can keep making the same mistakes over and over. And some of those mistakes I'd have made several times over and over. And I'm going to make new mistakes tomorrow. But eventually I do learn from my mistakes.
Yeah.
I do learn from them. And if a wise man to change, a fool will stay the same. So I want to change. And I'm changing. And I've changed a lot, from 18 to 30, from 30 now to 40. So.
You owed.
I'm just getting better. I'm just getting better.
All right. So, what did struggle teach you that success never could? I feel like that kind of goes into kind of what you were just talking about.
What did struggle teach that success couldn't? Adversity. Struggles. Struggle is my nickname. but I embrace it. Struggle
That's
is,
never been a nickname that I called you, but
hey,
okay.
hey, for it, and I use terms like that because it keeps me in place.
Yeah.
You know, I never want to get to a point to where I feel like I'm on my high horse, or I'm too big, or no. I never forget where I come from. I never forget the difficult times that I go through on a regular. And I'll never forget the difficult times uh, that I've gone through. My struggle was what really embraced the characteristics that you see today. You know, the entrepreneurship, the mindset of understanding. You know what, you might not understand, but I do. You know, so I can, through that lens, I can view different sizes and shapes of individuals, or understand their perspective when they talk about certain things, because of, I get it, I understand. I was once on that side, now I'm over here. Versus when you've never gone through nothing,
Yeah.
it's a whole different field with the
Yeah.
individual that has gone through something. So that person that's never gone through nothing, that had everything handed to them, wouldn't understand certain things that I've gone through. No matter
Yeah.
how much you explain it to them,
Yeah. No,
they won't
and
understand.
I agree. Like, I mean, when we say the struggle is real, there's a lot of reasons why we say the struggle is real. It's because when you've been through a struggle,
Yes. Yes.
I'm speaking from my own experience. When you've been through things
Yeah.
in a struggle and having to be independent and things like that, like
Yeah.
the struggle is real.
Yeah. Yeah.
But being able to balance, I love that. I love seeing you thrive too,
Yeah.
because a lot of us just see you thrive.
Yeah.
So I love that you talk about the struggle and you talk about, you know, the success, the battles, and how difficult things have been, but also at the same time, like you being in the lane that you are now,
Yeah.
moving forward. And
And you know what, like, but now that you say balance, now that I have time to really think about that, y'all always say, well, I need balance, I need balance. You know, it's funny because my little brother has told me once before, like, bro, like, you really don't take time to enjoy nothing. I'm like, yes, I do. The process is me enjoying it.
okay.
If I'm building, creating something, that's, once I've accomplished it, it's like, okay, all right, what's next? And he's like, see, that's your problem. Like, you don't really sit in it for a second. I'm like, damn, you kind of got a good point. But balance, that's something I juggled with. That's something I've really tried to enhance. But when I think about it, there's really no such thing as balance, because you have to tip the scale at times.
Yeah.
You know, when I'm focusing on business, other things on the backside, I have to go down.
Yeah.
Because if I'm trying to go from here to here and then back to here, then back to here, like nothing really ever gets done.
Yeah.
So I have to finish one thing first and then come over here. It's kind of like a dad, your husband. If he's gone all day from work, you say, well, you never spend time with us. Well, if I don't work, we can have the money to provide.
Right.
If I'm at home all day,
Right.
then we can't pay the bills.
Right.
So there's never really,
Yeah. That give and take is,
Yeah.
and it's that,
you got to
it's
have
that,
it.
everything and everyone pouring into to create that 100%.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's that 50 and 50, or
Yeah.
that, well, it's never 50-50. It's more
100,
because that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
It's never a balance. You're going to tip that scale a little bit.
Yes.
Sometimes it's a 30-70.
Yes.
Sometimes it's a 60-40. You know, sometimes it's a 90-10.
Yeah. Exactly. Depending on where you are at that moment.
Yeah. Sometimes it's a 90-10. Like, so, all right.
Yeah.
All right. So to talk about a little bit about your business and you being an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
What would you say is your biggest, proudest business moment thus far? Because I know there's so much more to come. So thus far.
Actually opening my first business in 2015, fitness studio that caters to women, personal training. I remember when I first had my injury, I was uncertain on what I wanted to do. I was uncertain on, I didn't even put on my pants, how to put on my shoes, how I should talk. I can't say how I could walk, I'm not, I'm in that chair. So how I should push, there are certain ways, it was, I really, had to, figure that out. What was the question? The
The
part of it?
question was, what's been your proudest business moment?
Yeah,
Biggest,
the
proudest
proudest
business.
moment. I like to tell stories. That's why I be forgetting and stuff. I'm letting to tell
What
stories.
were we talking about again?
Yeah,
Me all
exactly.
day.
The whole story just be get to the point. Boy. Um, Opening my first studio, because I was uncertain on what I really wanted to do and how I wanted to do it. Once I figured out what I wanted to do, it was personal training at that moment. But I also was going to school too as well. I was doing that because of no one in my family has done it, and that's what I was accustomed to. That's what I knew.
Right.
Go to school, get a degree, work for someone.
Right.
And I did that, because of my grandmother, my mother at the time, that was really putting emphasis on that, and I knew nothing else at that time. Um, but once I tapped into something that I really enjoyed, and how it came about, the personal training was, I remember probably 3 years into my injury, I used to go to 24-hour fitness and work out. And I'll never forget, I had this female that will always ask me, "You need help? Do you need help?" I'm like, my confidence was low. My confidence was shot. It was 3 years into the injury. I wouldn't even look at a woman. I was just trying to get back into a routine. And she was gorgeous, beautiful, beautiful chick. She would always ask me, and I kind of shy a little bit,
Yeah.
but nervous at the same time. I'm like, "Nah, I'm good, I'm good." I wouldn't even look at her face to face. I'm just side eyeing her. Like, "No, I'm good." And she would come to me every time she see me. I'm like, "Why does this girl keep bothering me? Go about your business. Let me do what I need to do." So one day I was like, "You know what? Yeah, can you put the 25 on there? Yeah, can you add the 45?" And it went from um, her helping me to her bringing a friend in and introduced me to a friend, which her friend was attractive to. So it made it even a little bit more uncomfortable. So now I got these two women that are unattractive. That are attractive, that I'm uncomfortable with because I'm not for sure who I am at this moment.
Right.
So um, my confidence slowly came back when I noticed, women are nurturers. All they wanted to do was help. And uh, I started noticing her friend was doing certain exercises incorrect. So I would just kind of say, "Hey, do it like this, add this." Like, "Oh, okay." And then they would come and ask, "Hey, we're going to do this. What do you think about this?" And it snowballed. And I was like, "Hey, I'm on to something."
Yeah.
Like, women are coming to me and asking about workouts. And I'm slowly becoming comfortable with these two women. And they're very attractive. And these are the women that guys talk to at the gym.
Got it.
And they're
Okay.
coming to talk to me.
Right.
So the confidence slowly built because of those individuals. Then I noticed that I can take this to another level. I went from 2 girls to 3 girls to 4 girls to 5 girls to where I have my own classes going on at 24-hour fitness upstairs in the glass room, to the point where they had to call me and say, "Hey, we're going to cancel your membership because you're training too many people." But I did apply at 24, and they would not hire me. They didn't want to hire me. They probably looked at me as a liability being in this chair. So that forced me to open my own spot, my own location. So my first client was actually you.
Hey,
She was my first 5 a.m. That was my first client.
We used to be up early,
Man,
and we used to both oversleep.
100%. But you're right, 100%, 100%. We would both oversleep a lot. Either I was on time or you was on time. One of us was late.
One of us was always late, but we made it work.
Yeah.
He really introduced me to the gym in general,
Yeah.
because we started training at Planet Fitness.
Planet Fitness.
Planet Fitness, and some days we'd be at the park with other girls.
Yes.
With other girls.
Listen, when you're hustling, I was in a hustling mode.
Yeah.
I was trying to train anywhere. I was training clients at the beach. I was training clients at Planet Fitness. I was training clients at LA Fitness. I was training clients at 24-hour Fitness. I had memberships everywhere. And if you didn't have if you didn't want to go to the gym, hey, we can go to the beach, and that's what I would do. So that was definitely a good thing, man. And you didn't even know this, but when I was coming to train you at 5 a.m. At this time, a lot of people don't know this. You didn't know this. I was actually sleeping in my car for 10 months. Yeah, I was actually sleeping in my car for 10 months. The first 10 months of, so I moved out of my location. At that time, I had I had a studio. I had a studio apartment about the size of this room. And so I used to have bear sores on my bottom.
Mhm.
So I developed those when I was in the hospital. They did a suppository. I had a bowel movement on myself. Um, I smelled it, but this is the first 6 weeks. I didn't care. Like, whatever. I'm just sitting in it. My mental was just all over the place, you know. So I was like, okay, cool. Left it alone. They came the next morning. Hey, you have a scar on your bottom. You need to watch this. So I would go home and just sit in a chair, not do pressure relieves, not turn from side to side, and eventually an ulcer opened where it was stage 3 or 4, where you can put 2 fingers in my
Oh.
wounds on my bottom.
Oh my
It was
God.
that deep, 2 holes. So uh, I had those bed sores for a couple of years. So from there, after I graduated from Dominguez in 2013, the doctor was like, "Hey, like we're gonna have to do surgery, but if you do surgery, you're gonna have to lay down for 8 weeks, and you can't get up at all for 8 weeks."
Got it.
And I'm like, you know what? Let me just wait until I'm done with school. You know,
Yeah.
so we waited till I was done with school. I finished school. Um, they did the surgery. I went to a nursing facility. So I was in a nursing home for 8 weeks.
Got it.
That was one of the best experiences, man. That
I
was
mean, I feel like it was probably
that
the
was
best place for you to be. Like
yeah,
8 weeks, you gotta lay
yes.
down.
It,
And
it,
somebody taking care of you.
yeah, it was either someone come to my house take care of me, or I go to nursing home. So in my mind, I'm like, who am I going to ask? I don't
Right.
have any family here, you
Right.
know. Plus, I'm a little stubborn, so I might want to get up and then get something to drink or eat. No one's here, so I'm not going to wait an
No
hour
one's
for
gonna
she's to
pop
come.
you and tell you to sit down.
Yeah, of course. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to nursing home. So I went to nursing home, and then that's when I met a nurse. I started dating a nurse from a nursing home.
But I am.
Yeah, yeah. I'll never forget her. But she's the one that said, "Hey, like," I told her what my plans were, what I wanted to do, and she was coming. Once I got released from nursing home, I went home. She's like, "Hey, just come and live with me and save money." I've never lived with anyone. I never lived with anyone. I'm like, I don't know, but I'm like, you know what? At that time, my rent was like $950.
Oof.
$950.
The good old days.
Man, when it was 900.
The good old days.
Man, now the 2 bedrooms are 2,000 plus.
I
You
know.
know, so so I moved out and moved in with her, and that probably lasted, I say, 4 months, 3 months. Until
What you do?
man,
I
she-
just know you
man,
did
she kicked me out, man. She
What
kicked
you
me
do?
out. I didn't do nothing. So what happened was, so she had a 6-year-old daughter. Every woman I've dated always had girls. Every woman I've dated always had girls. So I had a 6-year-old daughter, and she was a nurse. She was an RN, so her hours were crazy.
Yeah.
And I was training clients throughout the day. And we lived in Long Beach, and she would drive to, I would say Corona. Let me just say Corona, to drop her daughter off every morning so her mom can watch her.
Oh.
And I say, you know, I'm here now. Let me watch her.
Yeah.
You know, she's comfortable, and you don't have to take that drive every single day.
Yeah.
And she's like, you know what, it's a good idea. You know, so her daughter was comfortable. I took her the first 2 days and went from 2 days to 3 days to 4 days. She was with me every single day. So I would have this little, her mom was Asian, so they were Asian. So she's Filipina. So they had this little Asian girl riding with me everywhere, going to the park, training my clients,
Oh,
and
how cute.
I'm taking her everywhere with me. We went to McDonald's. She's playing. To one day, her mom just kind of, you know, she just started acting a little weird. You know, like, what time are you coming home? I'm like, you know, I'm not gonna be home till about 11:30. You know, I've been doing this for the past 2 months, 3 months, and she's like, okay, well, we need to talk. All right. So when a woman says we need to talk, you can sit up in my
Start sweating a
chair.
little bit.
You know,
You can start
hold
sweating
on,
a
what she
little
want to
bit.
talk about? Like, because she's never said that to me. So it went from we need to talk to what time are you coming home to, you know what, I think I'm gonna move my daughter in, because she was basically really living with her grandmother because her
Okay.
mom was always at work.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, cool. So previously we talked about getting a 3 bedroom because for all 3 of us.
Right.
So I'm like, okay, well, we still getting a 3 bedroom, right? That's fine. That's perfect. She's like, I don't know. Like, I'm like, what you mean? She said, well, I just want to move her into this place right here. I said, okay, well, you know, it's me and you in this room. So she was kind of like, whoa, well, it's time for you to
And
go.
that was the end of that.
That was. And then I came home. Probably it went from me coming home, sleeping. I was like, you know what? I'm going to just keep the peace. I'm going to just go to the couch. I'll go to the couch and she would just come in the living room and just bother me for no reason. Why you coming in so late? Like, I've been coming in this time for the past 2-3 months. You never had an issue.
Yeah.
To one day I come home and my stuff is just sitting outside of her room. And I don't really have too much anyways. Little bins, you know, my stuff sitting outside the room. And I'm like, whoa. I'm like, what is this? And she's like, well, you got to find. I was like, oh, okay. I said, well, listen, I at least need a week. Give me a week. Let me
Yeah.
figure this out. Like, you just threw this at me and
I
out of
wasn't expecting
nowhere,
this. Yeah.
nothing, you know,
Yeah.
so. And what it really stemmed from was when she said she wanted to move her daughter in. I really think God put me in that woman's life to show her, like, hey, you're not really spending enough time with your daughter, because her mom will come home at times and she would say, hey, let's go to the store. You know, I'm
Mhm.
keeping names out of it. But she's like, hey, let's go to the store. And she's like, no, I want to stay with Brian. Oh, let's go do this. No, I want to stay with Brian.
Mm.
Hey, you want to go in Chuck E. Cheese? No, I want to. Is Brian coming?
You and the daughter became like
We
this,
became very
and she
close,
was like, "That's my guy. Is he coming? Yes or
man.
no?"
And
Like,
and,
Mom, no, you're always at work.
and I would want to go somewhere, and I'm like, I have to tell her, no, stay with your mom. She's like, no, but I want to go with you. So I think that's what really put the icing on the cake for her. It made her realize, like, you know what? I should be this close to my daughter.
Yeah.
She should be this comfortable with me.
Yeah.
And she kind of felt some type of way about me. So she's like, you know what? He needs to go. So if God did that for me, for her to make her realize, like, you know what? Your daughter is a priority.
Yeah.
Hey, it was all up. It was good. It was good. It was
All
good.
right.
And that's
So
how I became
I would
homeless.
say, so to bring this back,
That's how I came homeless. Yeah. So I had to sleep in my car. I was sleeping in my car. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna figure it out. I had my boy come and grab my things, put them in my car. I actually went to another female's house. That didn't last. Um, uh, People that I knew, and I was like, you know what? Forget this. I'm gonna just do what I need to do. So I just started stacking everything that I had, sleeping in my car. So I will go and train at 24. My last client, I'll be done with her at 10. I take a shower at 24. Um, and I will hop in my car and go around the corner somewhere where I'll go on a block where there was less lights
yeah.
and just find a little spot to sleep. I had a little 22 between my seat. At this time, I had a 2000 Honda Accord with 20-inch rims on it, so I was afraid that somebody might just see the car and just think that, hey, there's valuable things in it.
Yeah.
So I'm 50% sleep for 50% awake.
Oh man.
You know, so when I would come and see you, sometimes I would just be coming from what I was doing was sleeping in my car, and you had no clue.
Right.
You know, so yeah, I would take showers at 24, and just I did that for 10 months. Did it for 10 months until I stacked enough money to open my first business. So that was my motivation to get my first business off the ground. And when I got the business, I actually slept in that studio for the first 2 months on an air mattress, and no one knew that I was sleeping there. You know,
Right.
I would blow it up, deflate it. You know, clients coming in at 7, I'll be, you know, wake up at 5, go to 24, take a shower, then come back and open the gate, and you'll think I was just arriving when you arrive.
Right.
You had no clue. So
Oh.
perseverance is my middle name, and that's the reason why some of the reason why I'm who I am today, because all the things I've been through. And that's just one story.
Yeah. What do you think you learned most about that? That whole entire, like, sleeping in your car, grinding to save your money, opening up your first business, sleeping in that business for a few months until you got things afloat. What do you think was the biggest lesson?
Anything is possible until you put your mind to it. Everything is possible if you put your mind to it. Everything. Anything is possible if you put your mind to it, no matter what. It kind of goes back to tipping the scale that we were speaking upon. You know, if it's something you really want, you have to put 120% into it.
Yeah.
And you have to block out all the outside noise. You have to block out all the outside noise. If not, you're going to always be up and down.
Yeah.
You got to know what you want, even through the good times and the bad times. You have to know what you want, even when it's not going so well. Stick with it. Stick with it. You know, no matter how difficult it is. You know, so that's what I learned is sticking through something, really sticking through it.
All right. And so then my next question is, what failure taught you the biggest lesson?
What failure taught me the biggest lesson? Is there really such thing as failures?
Question there.
You know what? I really don't think there's a such thing for me. Let me speak for me. I done ran out a few. I don't really think there's, for me, I don't look at it as anything as a failure. I look at everything as a lesson, because I understand how that's my world.
Right.
That's my world. It might not be everyone else's world. So people might look at him as a failure and they hold that over their shoulders and they run with that, and it holds them down. You know, I just look at it as, you know what, I needed to go through that to understand that this is the other side over here. You know.
Do you feel like in the moment, I know that's your mindset on how you look at it. In the moment when shit gets hard,
Yeah.
can you still see that picture? That picture of like, I have to go through this right now? Or is that something that kind of clicks after you've moved through it?
It clicks as I'm moving through it.
Okay.
Because I have to go through it. It nothing really registers at that moment, because at first, if it feels like a failure in the beginning, if it feels difficult in the beginning, I'm running with those emotions for that moment. So once those emotions subside and I realize like, hey, like this is just part of your process.
Yeah.
No matter if it's a day or if it's a year,
right.
It's part of your process.
Right.
And I always try to keep that mindset as I'm going through the tough times.
Yeah.
Even when it's tough, I still try to keep that mindset. I have a good friend. We both know Vivian. She will always, B, how's your health? B, how you doing? B, how's your mental? How you? I'm like, and I simply say, you know what? Like, yeah, I'm good, but I'm gonna go through things. It's gonna be another surgery soon. She's like, you gotta stop talking. No, that's what it is. For me, I have to go through it.
The way he casually talks about these things and the way that we're worried and at the edge of our seats.
Man.
Like, are you good? You're this, you're that. He's like, yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
We just got another surgery tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm in the hospital right now. We're like, and you know, like, I feel like that's part of, because that have become just like a part of you.
Yeah.
That you're used to it.
Yeah.
And even if it does phase you, you don't let that part show. Where it's just like, all right, it's just something to come back. This is just something I got to do.
Yeah.
This is just something I got to go through right now. Because he'll just casually be like, yeah, the studio going to be closed tomorrow. I'm having surgery. Like, me, what you mean? Like, what you mean you're having surgery? Do you need something? Do you need
it was
Are
unexpected?
You good?
Yeah. That's, you know what? It just really, it's really created who I am. You know, but I also, now I'm a little bit more aware. So I actually try to put myself in that situation and think about it and analyze it, or whatever it is I'm going through. Usually I would just, okay, cool, all right, whatever, and not allow myself to feel that.
I was going to say kind of suppressing anything that you had around it.
And that's part of my growth, you know, allowing myself to feel.
Yeah.
Because usually I'm just, it is what it is. Next. Next. Go to the next. When I'm really just holding on to that.
Yeah.
And not letting it out.
Yeah.
You know, not cleansing myself, you know, so yeah.
Was there ever a time whether you were in your car, opening the studio, opening the second studio, where you felt like, shit, this might not work?
Oof. No, no. I never had a moment early on. Early on,
Yeah.
my energy was so vibrant. Like
Yeah.
I don't care, but we getting it done. Do. And as time goes on, years went by. It's like, okay, I want more. Okay, now how do I wrap my mind around and establishing more from this situation? How do I add more value? And then when things don't play out, I might have a year where it's like business is not doing the best. You know, one year I might have made 80. Another year I might have made 120. Another year I might have made 70. So I have to think like, okay, why is it so up and down? It's part of entrepreneurship, but why is the
Right.
numbers going up and down? So um, when I have those low moments, now it's like, yeah, man, am I supposed to be doing this, or is it I'm ready to do something else because I get bored.
Mm.
Like I was telling one of my guys, I'm to the point now. Really I'm going to step away from personal training and
Mm.
just get trainers in to manage everything.
Right.
I'm ready to move on to the next thing, to the next chapter of my life, and me hitting 40 now. And it's not even that I'm hitting 40. It's just I've been thinking this for the past 2 years. Like I'm ready to step away from the business and just manage it and how those trainings come in.
Yeah.
So um, I think it's that more than that I have to question myself if it's going to work or not. I'm just ready for the next thing.
Yeah. And sometimes like feeling that change.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to sit in those
Yeah,
feelings, and
of
maybe that's why
course.
you're able to hear it now
Yeah.
a little bit more because you're talking about transitioning and being able to feel some of those emotions and things. I feel like I believe it was Michelle Obama that was just talking about how sometimes you have to be quiet
Yeah.
in order to hear
Yeah.
what God is trying to tell you,
Yeah.
maybe the next chapter for you.
Yeah.
But when you're so busy going and going and going and
Mm-hmm.
going, your mind is constantly going, so you can't hear it.
Yeah. I think, and God is sitting me down now. Even
Yeah.
though He sat me down a long time ago, but
Yeah.
He's really sat me down this past year, to really analyze my life. He's really put things into place to really make me like, oh shoot, to make me uncomfortable,
Yeah.
to make me feel very uncomfortable, and learning how to get comfortable with that. So
I've learned to love the space of be feeling uncomfortable
yeah,
because either you're going to do what you have to do to get to that next phase quickly, or you're going to have to sit
yeah,
in that space of being
yeah,
uncomfortable. And the more and more uncomfortable
yeah,
you get
yeah.
smashed against the wall a little bit harder,
Exactly.
and the walls feel like it's closing in. And then one day it just hits.
Yes,
One day just something clicks and you're like, all right, it's go time.
that's it.
It's go time. And then you just start making those moves
Yeah,
that'll get you to that next space. And I feel like I've seen you move through those spaces.
yeah. And I don't think I really sat in the spaces. Now, this past year I have, but prior, I never really had a chance to sit in it and really analyze it. And that's what God has really did. He put, like I said, really put obstacles in my life to really make me sit down and, you know what? Okay, which scale do you want to tip? And right, I'm gonna throw a curveball your way and see how you gonna handle it.
The curveballs are the worst. I didn't prepare for this.
Horrible,
Just
because you don't know what's coming.
yeah.
But if you know what's coming, then it's not really a curveball.
Yeah.
You know how to
So
handle it.
speaking of knowing what's coming or not knowing what's coming, talk about a little bit of what is to come, future you, and things like that. What is one thing, or what kind of man do you hope your family sees you as, like in the future?
Hmm.
A couple years down, if you decide to have kids or decide to get married or decide to whatever family you decide to make and call your family,
Yeah.
what do you think that they look back on your life, your legacy, the things you've done, the person you are today, the person you were yesterday, and the person you'll be tomorrow? What do you hope they see when they look at you?
Um, if I have my own family, I can't really talk about my personal family. But if I have my own family, um, oh man,
I like when I get them stumped. Yeah.
yeah.
Let them think a little bit.
Um, an individual that's very driven. And I know I keep saying the same thing over and over, because that's so many branches and leaves that comes from, you put the word driven, you can put so many sticks on the outside of that to outline and structuralize who you really are. Um, a man of loyalty, a man of loyalty. You know, that's, and loyalty comes from everything. It's who I am. It's the growth. It's, I never want them to question me. I have to question. Okay, is, what type of guy is he? What type of, like, no, you know exactly who he is. You
Yeah.
know he's going to be there. You know he's going to be a man of his word. He's driven. That's not the actual tangible things that's purchased. The things of his characteristics.
Right.
I want them to look at my characteristics and be like, you know what? He was a great man.
Yeah.
He was a great man. Not the things he accomplished, not, the money, not the whatever,
Right.
the tangible things. Just his characteristics as an individual was really stand up. He's a
Right.
really stand up guy. He really put in the work. He was really there. He was really loving. He was really caring. You know, he was the definition of um, grit.
Yeah.
He was the definition of that, and that's what I would want them to take from it. If I do, have kids one day, which I'm actually working on right now. So
Uh-oh.
which I'm
Uh-oh.
actually and you know what, I've been wanting a little one for the past 10 years
So
now.
listen, you can have mine. I got two. I got two.
That's my guy. Them little ones. Yeah, I've been, for the past 10 years, I've been wanting a child, but I've been putting it off. I put it off every year. Put it off every year. For one, you got to have the right person in your life, of course. Two, I didn't really know if I could have kids.
Right.
Being a paraplegic. You know, um, a few buddies of mine went through the process of the IVF and wasn't successful. And I see some guys on social media that was successful.
Right.
So right now I'm working with my doctor. I've been working with him since January, the beginning of the year. Um, so I do virtual bodybuilding.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was taking some things and it suppressed my natural testosterone. So now we get my natural testosterone back up.
Right.
And which my numbers have jumped a lot. So now as time goes on, we got to see if my sperm is going to produce. And if it does, when that time is right, we'll freeze it. And when I have that one, it'll be here, he or she.
So, to kind of talk about that balance moment, do you feel like maybe that's the reason why you're wanting to bring in trainers to the studio and take that step back? Because remember, you said you got to tip that scale.
Yeah.
So, if you at home all day
Exactly.
and you ready to be a dad all day,
Yeah.
like, do you feel like those two things connect, or do you just feel like more so coincidence, like
uh,
wanting to focus more on family in this phase of life versus all the grind?
it all connects. It all connects. Everything comes together. Um, it has to, and without even realizing sometimes what I'm actually doing.
Yeah.
Not even realizing what I'm doing. Half of the time I'm doing certain things. I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm just figuring it out along the way. That's part of being an entrepreneur, and people don't get it. You think you need to have everything structuralized. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
It doesn't work that way. You have to go through it. So yes, I definitely know that that's part of it. Even if I can't have a child, cool. I just want to know if I can.
Yeah.
So me putting trainers in play to manage the studio and the business so I can work on other things outside of that I have going on, and adding that more value.
Right.
It definitely plays a big significant role. A little more having a little more freedom. So if I can have a kid or just do other things,
Right.
you know.
Definitely. Because, right now I'm sure it takes running a business.
Yeah.
So, of course, it takes all of you.
Yes. Yes.
All of you, good, bad, ugly, all of you.
Yes. Yeah. So that's spasms. You gotta let them do what they do. So spasms are basically just involuntary movement. My legs are spasms, so I completely sever the spinal cord.
Okay.
So you have the vertebrae around the cord that goes down the middle, which controls the nervous system. So if I would have just damaged a bone, I don't have no issue. but I
Yeah.
damaged the bone and I
And
snapped the cord as well.
and the cord.
Yes. So my legs are spasm every now and then. Still tries to send signals to the spine to
Got it.
generate some movement.
They're
You
like,
know.
hey, you there?
Yeah, people see them moving like, oh, you finna walk. I'm like, watch me.
Yes, yes, I am. All right. So we've talked about your upbringing. We've
Yeah.
talked a little bit about where you're currently at now. What would you say if 25-year-old Brian
Mhm.
saw you today? What would surprise him about the life you've built for yourself?
The 25-year-old Brian, nothing. Nothing would surprise him because he was already on that mission. You know, he was. He wouldn't be surprised because in his mind he knows that he was going to be there no matter what.
Yeah.
You know, he wouldn't be surprised. He wouldn't
Think
be
he'd
surprised.
dap you up like, my
Yeah,
guy, you
my
did that.
man, hey, that's what you were supposed to do. Do more. You know, if anything, that 25-year-old would really just encourage him a little bit more. You know, but he wouldn't be surprised. Nah, he wouldn't be surprised. I was destined to do this. My life was destined to be what it is. You know, I had the injury. You know, people ask like, do you regret it? Do you know? That's what was supposed to happen. My life was supposed to happen that way. I can't live in the past. I can't live into what it should have been or what I think it should have been or where I would want it to be. Like, no, this is what it is. You know, so
I feel like that's a very positive way to look at it, but do you ever feel you have like moments of grief where you're grieving the life you thought you would have had?
I think about it. I think about it. I think about it every now and then. And it's really rare that I think about that. It's really rare. Like, damn, what would I be doing right now if I was it? Or maybe, okay, cool. I don't know.
Not the casual. Okay,
whatever.
Never mind.
It is what it is. You don't know, so move on.
Yeah, exactly.
Move on.
Exactly.
Move on.
That's funny.
You
Like,
know.
all right. Okay, back to real life.
It is what it is.
All right, I got a couple of rapid fire character questions for
Okay.
you.
Okay.
You don't got to elaborate too much, but I just want you to say the first thing that comes to your head about with these questions here. So, first one. What's one word you wish people understood about you?
One word. Oh, that's two words. What's one word that people? I wish other people said. That's supposed to be rapid, huh?
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
slow.
yeah. I'm slow.
It's
I'm
okay.
slow.
I still give you time. Go ahead.
One
Clock
word
is ticking. 10, 9, 8. I'm just kidding.
understood about me. Ambitious.
Okay.
But I thought people do understand it about me. You know, that's really not like a good answer.
What's the biggest misconception about your strength?
That it's always strong.
What's something you're still working on as a man?
Growth.
What humbles you?
Life.
I knew that answer. I knew that
life.
answer right there.
Life will humble you.
Tuh.
It really will humble you. These 40 years has been a beautiful, ugly experience.
Yeah.
You know, and I say beautifully ugly because you can't have one without the other.
Yeah.
You know, I can't sit here and talk to you just about the good things and not talk to you about the negative things. You know,
Right.
Life has it'll really humble you. You know, but again, it's all about perspective. It's all about how you view it. It's all about how you see it. It's all about how you take it. And it either it's going to make you or it's going to break you. One of the two. Ain't no way around it. Ain't no way around it. Who said in the song, life got to be easy because death is hard? Yeah, life is hard, but death got to be easy. Yeah. I'd be like, yeah, my life has really humbled me. I've been through a lot of things. Um, um, the growing up, not having a father in the household, uh, really made me grow up fast. Uh, it made me put things in perspective. Um,
Yeah.
when you don't have that, it's like, okay, how should you move? You just got to go through it. Now that I have my younger brother living with me, I see some of the things in him because neither one of us had a father. So it's like one of those, you know, kind of step into place, step in the role, and be like, hey, little brother, let me give you some game on things that wasn't given
Yeah.
to me. I can give to you,
That
So
give and
by
take.
going through, exude.
That give and take. As adults, I feel like there's a lot of when you have your group of people, whether they're your siblings, your friends, loved ones. I feel like there's a lot of give and take and a
Yeah,
lot of raising of each other
yeah,
that happens, right?
yeah.
Whether you want to call it that or not, but it's like,
Without even realizing
yeah,
it.
whether you realize it or not, a
Yeah.
lot of raising of
Mm-hmm.
each other as you get older,
Yeah. Yeah.
pull each other up a little bit.
Absolutely.
That's
Absolutely.
beautiful.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah. It's been a journey. It's been a journey. But I'm with whatever God gives me. Whatever I've really surrendered. I'm really just surrendering to Him and just letting Him, show me exactly which route I should take and how I should do it and what I should do and just throwing in the towel. Like, because I've been trying to do things on my own for so long.
Yeah.
I've been doing a lot on my own for so long where it gets to the point where it's like, all right, this weight on my shoulders, I can handle it, but at the same time,
But I
I
give
can't
it to you.
control everything, but I can give it to you as well.
Mm-hmm.
I give it to you and let you take the wheel.
Yeah,
You know,
100%.
yeah.
What do you feel like you want chapter 40 to look like? Business,
Yeah,
personal,
yeah.
all the things. What do you want chapter 40 to be, to come for you?
My chapter 40th. Want more happiness. Want more happiness and letting go of things that doesn't serve me anymore. Letting certain things go. That is still in my life right now that I'm slowly letting go.
Yeah.
Because it's like a drug addict. You can't just take everything away all at
Yeah, of
once.
course it's going to take
That
time.
fiend is going
You
to
got the
really
whole year, of course. You got time.
yeah. Just really letting go. Letting my hair down.
You ain't got no hair.
Yeah, I got a little bit up there. Letting my hair down and just letting go. The 40th, trying new things,
Yeah.
being a little bit more adventurous.
What's on your bucket list? What's the first thing on your bucket list for 40 that you're trying to cross off as soon as you can?
Thailand.
Thailand. Got it.
I've been wanting to go to Thailand for a while.
Yeah.
You know what? And there's we have 50 states, 51 states, including Puerto Rico. Everyone talks about going out of the country, but I've only seen 6 of the states.
Yeah.
5 or 6 of the states.
Yeah.
So exploring a little bit more, seeing a little bit more, doing a little bit more, traveling a little bit more, getting to learn myself a little bit more, opening those doors a little bit more, not being so closed off with my life and things that I have going on, and expressing a little bit more, and just being open to more things, just being more open. Now that I'm in that point of life where I can be more open, because that the first years you just really just focus on grinding. So I was shut off to a lot of things. Now I'm not doing this. Now I'm not doing it. Now I'm focused, which I'm always going to be focused. But now I just want to open a door to some things that I haven't done.
Yeah.
To see what that's going to bring.
Right. It's really so much of life to see. It's really so much of life to see, to do, to experience, to live, So I'm excited to see what Brian brings to us.
Absolutely. And you definitely.
In this podcast, how often can we expect to see something? We want to know. We have questions.
No, for sure. I'm gonna really base that upon. I'm really wanting to shoot every 2 weeks.
Okay.
For the podcast. So the podcast might be coming out every 2 weeks, but you might get a lot of shorts on my YouTube channel.
Okay.
Of my everyday life. So I'm gonna do a lot of vlogging, and I have so much in the vault that I have not pulled out. So I
Yeah.
might do every Thursday, put an old video up there,
Right.
and then Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, put new vlogs up. Um, but yeah, that's my thing. Letting go uh, of the old so new can come in and really transpire from there. Yeah. So I'm excited about this. So you know what, I really think we hold on. Well, I hold on to a lot of things in life because we're comfortable,
Yeah.
but you realize that it's not serving you anymore.
Right.
You need to let go of some things and some people.
I feel like that's even for me that's been like a transition of understanding things no longer serve you.
Yeah,
And like that's easier said than actually
done.
done
Yeah,
as far as releasing some of those things. Because sometimes you feel like that's what I'm used to.
exactly,
That's what I'm comfortable with.
exactly.
That's what it's been for XYZ
Yes,
amount of years.
yes.
So sometimes you know it don't no longer serves
Yeah,
you.
and you
And
still
you're
still
still
with it.
like
Yes,
la la la. So I'm excited to see. I'm
I'm
excited to
notorious for
see
that. I'm notorious
the
for that.
moves that you make
Yeah,
in 2026 and beyond.
yeah,
It's literally been like one of the biggest blessings to have met you.
yeah,
It's been 12 years, we just
yeah,
said 12,
yeah.
13 years
13.
of training, of friendship, of
Continuous growth.
family, like
Continuous growth.
continuously. And I'm really excited. I'm so happy for you. So
Yeah,
happy for you to be here as a guest host on your
yeah, yeah, yeah,
podcast.
yeah, yeah, yeah. To interview
Thank you
me.
for having me, and I really enjoyed just like picking your brain.
Yeah,
'Cause there's so much that you have to share, so many things I didn't even know
yeah,
about your life that is just, other people I'm sure can completely relate
yeah,
to your life, your struggles, the things you've done, the as an entrepreneur watching your day to day, and maybe that's something we want to see too on your vlog. What's
yeah.
that day to day life as an entrepreneur,
No, for sure.
having your own gym? Like, what
Yeah,
does that look like?
yeah,
Like, what is like you can think of what it is as owning your own boutique gym,
yeah,
but we want to see
yeah.
what's the behind
Absolutely.
the scenes.
Yeah,
Like, keep
I'm
us,
gonna show you some of the nitty gritty. Like
yeah,
we didn't. So I've been living. My grandmother's been living with me for 3 years now. So I moved her in with me about a couple of years ago, and I got the call. I moved her in. She's been with me for the past 3 years, and on top of that, that's been a transition too as well. So I'm gonna show a lot more of that, um, a lot more of my activities, a lot more of how we communicate, how we deal with each other. you
I'm
know,
sure it's fun.
yeah, it's fun. It has its pros and cons,
Yeah.
you know. But that's grandma, So yeah, yeah, I'm excited about that, man. I'm excited about this new journey. Um, and a lot of the times, like I said, I don't know what's coming of it, but I'm excited to go on a journey, on
Yeah.
this new journey. I have some things in mind that I'm going to do, but I'm excited about what's next to come that I have nothing about, know nothing about. So yeah, yeah, I'm ready for it.
You told me about your grandmother
Hmm.
and how big of a role she played in your life.
Yeah.
Who lived, how many siblings did you have? Who lived in that household with you?
Oof. It was four on my mom's side. So on my mom's side, I have two brothers and one sister. On my dad's side, I have four brothers and two sisters, and
Okay.
I'm the oldest on both.
Okay.
So I'm the oldest on both sides, and they all have kids. They all have kids, and they keep making babies, and they keep asking me when you're gonna have kids, and I keep telling them,
And they keep
mind your
making
business.
babies.
Exactly. You having enough for the both of us, all of us. Yeah, it was on my mom's side. So I was raised with my mom.
Okay.
I wasn't raised with my dad. Me and my dad had a relationship all the way up to about 10 or 11, and then that slightly vanished. Um, uh, I've always tried to keep in contact and touch with him, but it wasn't mutual. And not even just that, me being an adult now, I really think that he had me so young at 17. I always try to look at the other side. that he didn't really know how to be a father,
Yeah.
because he was so young. But I will hold that against him for a long time.
Yeah.
That it would really bother me. But now that I'm older, it's like, you know what? It is what it is. We can start from here, keep it going. But I was raised with my mom my entire life. You know, my mom worked 3 jobs just to make ends meet at times. You know, me playing sports, activities.
Right.
You know, she couldn't make it to, you know, games because of work. Like I said, I never had males in my family or male role models. It was just me figuring it out. So I've always been figuring it out my entire life.
Yeah.
I've always been going through the motion,
Right.
you know. So yeah, my mom was like my best friend, you know, at one point in time. You know, she's the woman that um, showed me how to put a condom on a banana when that time comes.
As she
You
should.
know,
As
took
she should.
took a banana, took the condom, put it on, and when it was time for me to play that part at 13, I
It
didn't know
was
what the hell I was
13, huh?
doing. Yeah, I was 13.
Oh, it was 13,
Yeah,
huh?
yeah. I never forget the girl. The girl name
Oh,
was
it was
Elizabeth.
13, huh?
Yeah. You know, that's like normal. I'm just saying like 13. Yeah, 13. You know, I never forget that moment. I didn't know what I was doing. I was putting it on backwards. I didn't realize why I wasn't rolling down. I had to open it up, pry it open. Then I went home that same day and was like, what the hell I do wrong? Oh, it was on backwards. Ah, okay. Yeah, so my mom was she was my best friend, you know, for a long period of time. Um, Leaving high school, going to college, you know, moving to California, you know what? You know, she's like, hey, you've always known what to do. You've always had your head on straight. Go, you know, pursue it. Um, and then one day, you know, just kind of our relationship just kind of just, you know, went separate ways for a minute. You know, I don't know why. You know, I'm still not understanding till this day, but we're gonna have the discussion one day. Um, but there was a time where I would hold on to a lot of. I felt like our relationship kind of parted ways, and I felt like it was my fault. You know, and um, no one in my family knows this or the reasons why. So when I had my injury, she came down for 4 months. My grandmother came down for 7 months. So my mom came down. Um, she had a new husband at the time. They came down. Um, and so I've always had a lot of, call it what it is, always had a lot of women in my life at one point in time. Um, and so when she came, I was in the hospital. She walked in the room and see several women there. And I wasn't asking her to do anything because I had these women here that I've been here for these past 2 years that's been helping do. I put women in place for certain things.
Yeah.
You know, so I kind of built like my own little foundation because I didn't have family. So I
Yeah.
had to build my own.
Because again, you moved out here by yourself
Absolutely.
just to figure things
Yes.
out by yourself. So you started kind of building a family with the people that cared about you.
Absolutely.
No matter what they looked like, no
Yes.
matter different, you know, from different avenues, basically.
Yes.
Whoever was willing to help or willing to help you kind of
Yep.
maneuver
Yep.
in this whole new water
Yeah.
that you're in. You've never had to experience these things before. So being able to kind of take those friendships that
Yeah.
you've built, those foundations that you built in friends, and build your own family
Absolutely.
to give you that support.
That
Yeah.
part. And off of that, when she seen those individuals and I wasn't really asking her to do anything, I kind of felt like she told me because we had a discussion about it. Because I asked her like, what's going on? She told me like, you're not asking me to do, like, you don't need me. Like, why am I here? I said, you're my mother. Just by your presence alone is enough.
It's beautiful.
And
Yeah.
I've been building what I've been building for these couple of years, just in case if something like this happens, I can have my own little foundation. Even though it wasn't the right way to do it.
Yeah.
But I had to do what I had to do at 22 years of age.
Yeah.
You know, so she felt like she wasn't needed. And she like, well, are you coming back? Because I'm not staying here any longer. I said, no, I'm gonna figure this out. You know, no, I'm not moving. I'm gonna figure this out. So my grandmother came down. She wanted to leave, but my brother and sister didn't want to leave.
Yeah.
No, I have twin brother and sister. You know, boy and girl.
And is this your maternal grandmother or
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Um, they didn't want to leave. She wanted to go back home. They didn't want to leave. I said no. Man, my sister, younger sister, she was very adamant. She's like, no, we can't leave our big brother like this. He's paralyzed. He's newly paralyzed. We can't just. He don't even know how to get dressed yet.
Yeah.
I was like, man, I don't care. Like, she just showed like this attitude towards me or a situation or whatever. She's like, I don't care. I got to go back. My life is over there. I'm like, okay, I understood. I get it. But I didn't understand the animosity behind it. You know, I didn't really get that part. So I remember her getting ready to leave and telling my brother and sister to go. And they're like, we're not leaving him. My brother Victor was like, we're not leaving him. My sister was like, we're not leaving him. My sister literally got on her knees, grabbed my chair, and was like, we're not going anywhere. My brother was like, he didn't want to make my mom upset, but he wanted to be here.
Yeah.
And I told him, I said,
And
brother,
how old were your siblings at the time?
they were 16.
Okay.
16. Victor and Victoria were 16 at that time.
Are they twins?
They're twins.
So you got twins in your family.
Yes.
You were just talking about how you are,
Yes.
exploring.
Mm-hmm. Hey,
Yikes.
so,
Like, yikes. Does any of your siblings have twins yet?
no. Nope.
Ooh.
Nope. They don't. So it skips generations.
Be
at
afraid,
times.
ladies. Be afraid.
They didn't want to leave, and I told my brother, I said, bro, I don't want any issues, just go. So they were like, no. So my mom actually called the police and said, hey, this is my son right here. This is what happened. He had an injury. These are my two younger ones. I'm going back home. They don't want to go. So if they don't go with me, you can take them. Literally her exact words. You can take them. I'm like, what? The police was at my apartment at that time saying, hey, they pulled me aside and said, hey, bro, like, they were 16, 17, somewhere in there. I remember the officer telling me, hey, they have 2 more years. And she's the mother. I'm just being honest, like, just tell them to go because we don't want to put them in custody because your mom has been very adamant about putting them in custody and taking them. We put them in the system, they're going to get separated. He gave me this whole spiel. We put them in the system, they're going to be separated. And at that time, I couldn't understand it. I couldn't wrap my mind around, why she would call the police. I couldn't wrap my mind around why take it this far.
Yeah.
I
Seems a little extreme.
Yeah, I couldn't understand it. So my grandmother came down right before my mother left. I told my sister was the one that was like, no, I'm not going anywhere. I'm not leaving you. And I'm like, Victoria, come on, if the police take you, this is what's going to happen. And eventually she was like, okay, all right, cool. So for a long time, I will hold that on my shoulders to say, hey, you know what? Maybe me being paralyzed, having this injury is the reason why me and my mom are not as close as we used to be. And I would carry that and would think it was always my fault. It was my fault. And when my grandmother came down, that's when I was really shown what love really looks like, because my grandmother's never changed till this day. Before my injury and after my injury, she's been one way with me. My grandmother was wiping my bottom when I was months old. She was wiping my bottom when I was 22 at that time.
Right.
That was the time I didn't know how to control my bladder or my bowels or anything. And she really stepped into play. But for my brother and sister, man, I would think that situation, the issue was my fault. And for a long time, I would try to have conversations with my mom, and ask her, what happened? Why are we not as close? Is it because of your new marriage, or what happened? What really played a part? And my mom lives in Vegas, and I haven't seen her in the past 7-8 years.
Yeah.
And that's nothing but a 4-hour drive or a 40-minute flight. So, but every time I would try to communicate with her, talk to her, she kind of give me an alibi on why she couldn't see me or didn't want to see me. So, and I would be in her city. So when you're in someone's city, I reached out to her. It's our Sabbath weekend. We don't eat. I'm like, okay, well, we don't have to eat. I don't know what new religion this is. that she was brought into, with his new husband. But all right, I respect it. But it got to a point to where um I that's where a lot of questions really came about when it came to relationships, me with women, um, the relationship what I had with my mother. I didn't. It slowly it dwindled down, and I don't know. So I would lash out with women when it comes to certain things, not realizing that it was because of the things that I was dealing with my mother.
Yeah.
You know, having those motherly issues. So you're gonna have issues in relationships too as well. But it's no excuse, no alibi. So now that I have that knowledge and recognize it, I
Yeah.
can adjust. I can fix that.
Yeah.
I can make changes. And so I'm going to Vegas soon. I actually want to have a conversation with my mom to see. And this is the chapter that I'm wanting to close.
And resolve things.
Exactly.
Right.
And it's part of the growth that we was talking about earlier. To see what actually went wrong, because I could be incorrect. It could be something else.
Yeah.
But it's the unknown that I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah. But first of all, I would like to, as a mother, I'm so sorry that you've walked around and carried that weight, thinking that your injury ruined a relationship.
Yeah.
So I'm so sorry that that's been a thought process at all. So I'm definitely going to stay tuned on what happens when you go to Vegas, because I would like to know the truth too. We demand the truth.
Yeah, that's
We demand the truth, because but that unconditional love from your grandmother,
yeah,
that's been one thing that has remained consistent
yeah,
to hear from day one to year 40.
yeah.
Has been your grandmother. It's that unconditional love, that unconditional, what do you need, Brian?
Exactly.
Like you said, she would always ask, what do you need? So
yeah, that's tough. It's really tough, having a bond with your mother, and all of a sudden it's come to a halt. That's very tough to manage. Um, that's something I battle till this day. It's a little easier now, but still tough. And that's why I can't talk about the good and the without the bad. I have to speak upon it. It's just mandatory. Now that I have my brother's living with me, he's been living with me for the past 6 months now. I remember he called me. And he was like, "Hey, bro, and this is my baby brother." When he called me, he's like, "Hey, bro, my heart turning cold." And I'm like, "What's up? What's good? What you talking about? What you mean?" He's like, "Bro, I'm out here in Oklahoma. I'm trying to make this right. I'm trying to do the right thing. I have my son, my daughter. It's like, bro, I have no family. No one.